What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another uniform review video. Alright, so I'm a little late to getting around to getting these uniforms reviewed here, but anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the first uniform here, which is going to be Falcon's new Marvel Legacy uniform. So let's go ahead and take a look at the uniform bonus here. So activation rate, 40% chance when attacking to deal 58% physical damage to the enemy. So it's a little bit better than his previous uniforms effects, just because the previous ones were 25% and a 5-second cooldown. This one's 40% with a 3-second cooldown, so it will be activating more often, and it's kind of similar to Yondu's Tier 2, so it does give you a nice little extra kind of burst of damage right there, but I mean, it's nothing too exciting. So let's go ahead and see. We have three skills being changed here. We have a bind now on the trap claw here, which is nice. So he does have some kind of crowd control, so that'll be useful. Besides that, let's go ahead and jump into the skill preview here and actually see what those skills look like. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look here. The first skill, so that one is going to be exactly the same. We have that immediate iframe, and then he just jumps up and lands on the enemy. His second skill here, this is one of the changed skills, so as you can see, this is the one that now has that bind on it, which is pretty nice, and it is an iframe as well, so I do like that. So he gets another iframe out of this change, so that's very good. And now let's take a look at the third skill. So this is another one that's been changed. No iframe, but it adds a lot more AoE, and it looks like a lot more hits to this skill as well. Because I believe before it was basically he just did that spinning effect right there, but he didn't have any projectiles that were shot out. So this is a lot more AoE and DPS, so that's a nice change to the third skill here. And now we'll take a look at the fourth skill. So the fourth skill is a lot longer than the previous fourth skill. Whoops. And it also gets a lingering AoE effect, which is, or a lingering AoE, a lingering dot effect. So he gets that extra damage there, so it seems really nice. You get a lot of hits out of this, and as you can see, that damage over time right there is really nice. So he gets a massive DPS boost on his fourth skill, so I really do like that. And of course, the longer iframe is nice as well to help keep you out of harm's way for a little bit longer, or to stall for some of your other skills to get off of cooldown. So I'm a big fan of the fourth skill. And now the fifth skill, there is actually a change to this, even though it says that there isn't, or at least if I'm looking at this right, there is. So you hit the fifth skill, and as you can see, the iframe now lasts almost the whole time. While he's flying around like that, he's still going in and out of the iframe very briefly, so there are kind of breaks in the iframe, as you can see with the iframe indicator there. The red X kind of blinks a little bit. So he's definitely going in and out of the iframe, but from what I remember, when he takes off like this, it's iframe, but then while he's spinning around them like that, it's not an iframe if I remember correctly. So that is also a really nice change as well, because that will help him out in survivability. But let's go ahead and kind of confirm that. So let's jump over here to the base Falcon. So you see iframe there, and yeah, as you can see, there's no iframe indicator while he's spinning around the enemy. And it goes back once he starts hitting him. So iframe and no iframe, and then intermittent iframes, bop, bop, bop. So I definitely like that change as well to the uniform. So he has a lot longer, more consistent iframe on the fifth skill. So he's not going to get kind of knocked out of it as easily as his base form. And I believe all his other uniforms are the exact same style for the fifth skill as well. So it's just going to give him a little more protection. So I do like that as well. So overall, I'm quite happy with Falcon's new uniform. It looks pretty nice. I do like the bump in damage that he's getting with the hits and also the dot effect, and then also the extra survivability from the iframes. So overall, I think this is a very good uniform for Falcon. So if you have him built up or at tier 2, I definitely think this uniform for him is a must buy if you're going to use him. But there, there's so many options in this game that you don't necessarily need Falcon with his uniform to fill a certain kind of niche in the game or anything like that. But he's going to be very powerful for Shadowland, especially with this uniform, and probably quite a pain in PvP as well, because he's just getting a little more survivability and a lot more damage. So I can see him being overall better in all game modes, and he's probably brings his power level up to a more average area for the character there, which he's definitely needed. So I'm a big fan of this uniform, and I quite like it. So actually, I think I am going to pick up this uniform right now, just to have it. So let's go ahead and buy it. There we go. And now I'm probably going to work on getting a Falcon to tier 2, just so I can play around with him a little more. But anyway, that's just going to be my thoughts on his new uniform here. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it helped in deciding if you wanted to pick up this uniform for yourself. And of course I will. Catch you in the next one.